إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدى هدى محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Today, Ya Ibadullah, is the 29th of Ramadan. And so soon, very soon, we will come to that glorious day of happiness where we receive the prizes and we have the happiness and the joy, the day of the Eid, Eid al-Fitr. So it has come time for us, most of us, to pay Zakaatul Fitr. And so therefore this khutbah is about some aspects of Zakaatul Fitr. Zakaatul Fitr is obligatory upon all Muslims who have the means to pay Zakaatul Fitr. And that means, as it was pointed out to me, that means is that the person has food for his day and his night. If that person has food over the time or over his place of his day and night, everybody who has that type of food is due upon him to pay Zakaatul Fitr. It's called Zakaatul Fitr. Zakat meaning purity, and fitr meaning the fitr or breaking the fast from Ramadan. فرض رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم صدقة الفطر. Another name is called صدقة الفطر or Zakaatul Fitr عن الذكر والأنثى والحر والعبد والصغير والكبير. The Messenger of Allah enjoined, meaning he obliged, he made it fard, obliged Zakaatul Fitr to be paid on every Muslim, free or slave, male or female, young or old. وروى عن عبد الله ابن عمر رضي الله عنهما قال فرض رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم صدقة الفطر من رمضان صاعا من تمر أو صاعا من شعير على العبد والحر والذكر والأنثى والصغير والكبير من المسلمين. And Allah's Messenger enjoined, according to the report of Abdullah ibn Umar, may Allah be pleased with him and his father, who said that the Messenger of Allah enjoined Zakaatul Fitr to be paid with 1 sa'. This is a measurement of volume of food. 1 sa' of dates, or 1 sa' of barley, or 1 sa' of other foods on every Muslim, free or slave, male or female, young or old. So if a person is the head of his household, everybody who he's responsible for in his household, if it is him and his wife and 2 children, then he's responsible for sa' for himself, he pays. A sa' for his wife, a sa' for one for that child and the other child, and so on like that. So everybody who's responsible for, he pays a sa', 1 sa'. Here again, we'll go over it again. It is a volume of food. It is also very favorable It's mustahab to pay Zakaatul Fitr on an unborn fetus which is 4 months and older. Because Uthman ibn Affan reported radiallahu anhu that he did this. So if your wife is pregnant and her fetus is 4 months, then you should pay, it's mustahab to pay Zakaatul Fitr on the unborn fetus. What is the wisdom behind the obligation of Zakaatul Fitr? First, تطهير الصائم مما عسى أن يكون قد وقع في صيامه من اللغو والرفث. Zakaatul Fitr purifies the Muslim who has fasted from any traces of ill speech or obscenity, nasty words or ill speech or foolish talk. The Zakaatul Fitr purifies him from those mistakes he made when he was fasting the month of Ramadan. 2. إغناء الفقراء والمساكين عن السؤال في يوم العيد وإدخال السرور عليهم ليكون العيد يوم فرح والسرور لجميع فئات المجتمع. The second thing is وذلك لحديث ابن عباس رضي الله عنهما فرض رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم زكاة الفطر طهرة للصائم من اللغو والرفث وطعمة طهرة للصائم من اللغو والرفث وطعمة للمساكين. Zakaatul Fitr provides sustenance for the poor and brings happiness to them, so that the Eid day in general is a day of joy for every member of the Muslim society. It's a day of joy for everyone in the society. This is taken from the hadith of Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma, translation of which is, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam enjoins Zakaatul Fitr as a purification to the fasting person from ill speech and obscenity, and to provide food for the needy. And on that point, Ibadullah, the cooperation on birr and taqwa is rewarded at all times, but even more during Ramadan. So I say that we still need more of your help in order to make this day a day of farh and surur for everyone. So when you're contributing, remember that, think of that, and give the most you can. Give the most you can to it, so that we all can come together either the tomorrow or day after tomorrow, and we can have this joy. Give the most you can give. Don't stint, barakallahu feekum. Don't stint. This is something which is done worldwide, except we have a difference. In this country, we are on our own. MashaAllah, barakallah. There are no government agencies that are going to say to us that we're going to help you do your Eid. We're going to provide you with the money or the sustenance to do your Eid. You and I, for the longest time, have done what we have done by the tawfiq of Allah Azza wa Jal, and the cooperation based upon birr, goodness, and then the love that Allah will reward us based upon goodness and taqwa, and not based upon ithm, sin, and udwan, enmity, and being enemies to one another. So when you're giving your sadaqah, this is our last chance to get the reward of that kind of sadaqah, barakallahu feekum. 3. وفيها إظهار شكر نعمة الله على العبد لإتمام الصيام شهر رمضان وقيامه وفعل ما تيسر من أعمال صالحة في هذا الشهر المبارك. And Zakaatul Fitr acts as an expression of gratitude to Allah for enabling the Muslim to complete the fast of Ramadan by standing in salah, and also praying in Ramadan, and fasting in Ramadan, and doing all the acts that's easy for him to do that are righteous, that brings him a bigger reward. This is our gratitude, ibadallah. وَلِتُكْمِنُوا الْعِدَّةَ وَلِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ. لِتُكْمِنُوا الْعِدَّةَ, so that we finish the fast of Ramadan. And the ulama say this part of that verse in Surah Al-Baqarah, so that you finish the time, is to show us that there's no other way to get the reward for Ramadan except to finish it. To finish it. And among the things that in our religion is that we finish what we start. We finish a righteous deed. We finish a righteous deed. And that's the way to get the reward, barakallahu feekum. So help us finish this. Give what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you and has tested you and I by giving us our means. What should we pay for Zakaatul Fitr, and how much should we pay? The quantity of zakat is 1 sa'. So rather than go through the numbers, I'm going to take the easy way out. Barakallahu fikum. A sa' can be achieved, wallahu a'lam, by a man taking his 2 hands, what's known as a mud, the average man's hands, putting it inside the food and doing it 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not belying any on the measurements. I'm saying I personally take the easy way out, and I've seen this from the ulama, and I prefer that one. Also, the advantage that I have, and some of you have, is that my hands may be a little bigger than the average man's hands, the average hand. If your hand is bigger, Shaykh Uthaymeen rahimahullah ta'ala said, you get the reward of the extra of a sadaqah if you give a little more because your hands are big. Barakallahu feekum. And remember, this is on yourself and your wife and everybody under your responsibility who depends upon you, your dependents. Barakallahu feekum. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salamu ala nabiyyina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. As for the quality of the payment, the quality of the food, at-ta'am. At-ta'am, think, every night when you did iftar, you didn't do iftar with $1. Think about it. You didn't do iftar with $1. You did iftar with food. You didn't do iftar with a money amount. You did it with food. And this is Zakaatul Fitr. It takes its name from Fitr min Ramadan, Nihayatul Ramadan. As for the quality, it is to be taken from the ordinary staple foods of the area, which may include, but not limited to, rice, oatmeal, wheat, semolina, some of you call it cream of wheat, grits, couscous, dates, raisins, barley, or their flour, meaning that the flour that comes from them. And you can also use the flour from them, meaning the flour from the wheat, flour from the rice, flour from rye, and all those foods that are stored. And the big question, which is always asked every year, because people are giving dawah to this, لا يجزي إخراج قيمة الطعام. It is not allowed to replace that food with the money, the price of the food, and give it as Zakaatul Fitr. لأن ذلك خلاف ما أمر به رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, because that opposes what the Messenger of Allah صلى الله عليه وسلم ordered, what he صلى الله عليه وسلم commanded that we do. And his time there was nuqud, there was fulus, there was money. لأنه مخالف لعمل الصحابة. It also goes against the dealings of the Sahaba, what they did. فقد كانوا يخرجونها صاعا من طعام, because the Prophet ﷺ and the companions used to give صاع from ta'am. This is what they gave. ولأن زكاة الفطر عبادة. Zakaatul Fitr is ibadah. ما يجوز تغيير العبادة. It's not allowed once you already have an ibadah that is established. One of the sha'air of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, one of his rituals that he commands, and the Messenger of Allah commands, is not allowed to change that. And most Muslims understand that until it comes to this issue about taqaddum and ease. We live in an easy spot. Well, understand this easy. Your Zakaatul Fitr has to go into the hand of the one who is intended for before you pray the Eid. If it does not go into that person's hand, You have not paid Zakaatul Fitr. So tell me, how can the imam or other people stand up with a bucket at the Eid prayer and throw $10 in and then pray and that got to the person? See, it's folly. It's nonsense. It opposes the religion. How are you going to show your son how to pay Zakaatul Fitr? Active. You have these people out here with wagons and hats on. What do they call them? Mormons or whatever they are. I forget their name. These people riding still in wagons because they want to express, we are who we are. We're this. We ride in wagons. We don't use lights. And we're paying money to escape one of Allah's subhanahu wa ta'ala shari'ah. La. No, do it. Do it. What comes next? The next Eid, where we're going to pay $200 for the sheep and never see it? La ibadallah. Buy the food. Measure it with your own hand, take it to the people who you know deserve it, and give it to them. And don't let anybody tell you that you should fill it up with buckets of money before the imam stands, and you never knew what happened to that money. Because it's not Zakaatul Fitr, because it didn't go into the hands of the people who deserved it. Check it yourself. You and I must read and research the religion. Barakallahu feekum. Then the Zakaatul Fitr, ibadah, mafruda. من جنس معين هو الطعام ولا يجزي إخراجها من غير جنس معين, because Zakaatul Fitr is a form of worship and it has a specific source. It's a form of obligatory worship with a specific source, and that source, that resource, that order is food. It is food. من جنس معين, from a specific type, and that type is food. وهو الطعام لا يجزي إخراجها من غير جنس معين. So it's not allowed to take it away from that form it's in, the specific order, the specific category, the specific type, for you and I to change it. It's not allowed for us to change that. The time Zakaatul Fitr should be paid. يجب Zakaatul Fitr بغروب الشمس من ليلة العيد. When the sun goes down, Maghrib, Ghurub al-Shams, when the sun goes down, you know the next day is Eid, now it's the time to pay Zakaatul Fitr. From that time until before the Salah, that's the time when it's wajib. That's the fadila. لأن الوقت الذي يكون به فطر من Ramadan, because that's the time when people start to do fitr from Ramadan. The next day is not Ramadan, they won't be fasting. وَلِإِخْرَاجِهَا وَقْتَانِ. And this time of paying Zakaatul Fitr has two times in it. Waqt fadila wa ada. Waqt fadila wa ada. This is the most favorable time to pay it. And then waqt al-jawaz. This is the permissibility of paying it. So the time of fadila, the most favorable time, is the time when the sun goes down. You know the next day is Eid. From that time until the time before the imam stands for salat. That's why it's necessary for you to get to pay your Zakaatul Fitr and then come to salat straight away. The time before that, permissibility of paying it is 1 or 2 days before the Eid, like today. A person can pay, he's permitted to pay it today. 1 or 2 days before, because the companions, some of them, they used to do it. Radiallahu anhu. أما وقت الفضيلة فهو من طلوع الفجر يوم العيد. It is from طلوع الفجر. The best time is from the time when Fajr comes in the day of Eid إلى قبيل أداء الصلاة, until close to the time of the Salah for Eid. لحديث ابن عمر رضي الله عنهما, because of the hadith of Ibn Umar رضي الله عنهما, أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أمر بزكاة الفطر قبل خروج الناس إلى الصلاة. Because the Messenger of Allah ﷺ commanded that people pay Zakaatul Fitr before they go to the Salah. Before they go to the Salah. Not there at the Salah. In the hands of the people, the recipients, before the Salah. وَأَمَّا وَقْتَ الْجَوَازِ. As for the permissibility of it, فَهُوَ قَبْلَ الْعِيدِ يَوْمَ or يَوْمَيْنِ. It's before the Eid 1 or 2 days. It's fair Ibn Umar. Because Ibn Umar radiallahu anhuma and others, they did this from the companions. وَلَا يَجُوزُ تَأْخِيرُهَا عَنْ صَلَاةُ الْعِيدِ. It's not allowed for people to hesitate to pay Zakaatul Fitr until and after the Eid, after Salatul Eid. Not allowed to do so. فَإِنْ أَخَرَهَا وَهِيَ صَدَقَةٌ مِنَ الصَّدَقَاتِ. And if he does that, a person hesitates, delays Zakaatul Fitr until afterwards, it's not called Zakaatul Fitr anymore, it's called Sadaqah. It's not Zakaatul Fitr. وَيَأْثِمْ عَلَى هَذَا التَّأْخِيرِ. And a person's a sinner for doing this delay. لِقَوْلِهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ, because the Messenger of Allah said, مَنْ أَدَاهَا قَبْلَ الصَّلَاةِ فَهِيَ زَكَاةٌ مَقْبُولَةٌ. Whoever does it before the salah, that Zakaatul Fitr is accepted. وَمَنْ أَدَاهَا بَعْدَ الصَّلَاةِ فَهِيَ صَدَقَةٌ مِنَ الصَّدَقَاتِ. Whoever does it after the salah is sadaqah. And the person's a sinner for hesitating or delaying it till afterwards for no reason and no excuse. Barakallahu feekum. So may Allah Azza wa Jal accept our Zakaatul Fitr. May He accept our fasting and our standing and our Zakaatul Fitr and all our charities, barakallahu feekum, and our efforts at islah between our family members and between brothers and sisters, barakallahu feekum. Sister, whoever is taking a picture of the sisters in the masjid right now and putting it on the net, you should be aware that you're committing a sin. Taking pictures of ladies and posting them in the masjid. Why are you taking the pictures of women in the masjid? La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. When you come into the masjid, ibadallah, and this is what I hope and I pray this for myself and for you, that when you come into the masjid, inshallah ta'ala, that we will have masahif, the plural of mushaf, that we'll have them all in the masjid, and that you and I will have the ability, the skill to open a mushaf and start to recite it. Everybody. And then you won't hear the talk about the game last night. Then you won't hear the strange sounds that you only hear in certain masjids in America. And those who haven't traveled the rest of the Muslim world, you don't hear these loud sounds. Because people know how to recite the Quran. If someone asks you, brothers and sisters, what do you believe in? You say, I believe in the Quran and the Sunnah. That's going to have to be the truth. That's going to have to be the truth. You and I have to struggle and work and read and sit and find the time to get a teacher. You and I must do that to make that claim of Quran and Sunnah the truth. In your home, the sound, inshallah ta'ala, will be the Quran. The sound in your house will be the Quran. It'll be Surah Al-Baqarah that you read, barakallahu feek, that you read, that you recite, that you become the protector of your household and your children from shaitan. You will be the one. It's your voice, your tongue reading. But right now, ibadallah, what's the truth about us? What's the truth about us? It's sad, but it's not undoable. It's sad because you have to protect your child. Imagine you and your boy sitting there and you're saying, listen, I want to show you how to recite. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you first of your important life skills. How to recite the book of Allah. How to have nasiha for the book. Naam, an-nasiha lillahi wa li kitabihi. What's nasiha for the kitab, ibadallah? Having nasiha for the book is to be able to recite it. Is to be able to understand it. Is to be able to reflect upon it. Is to be able to apply it. All those things. We are busy ourselves, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, so that we can have the serenity, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. I'm not talking about NA. I'm talking about the qira'ah of the book in the masjid and in your homes. And when you're trying to memorize and you're memorizing, and you sit with someone who knows how to do it, so you make sure you don't make mistakes and memorize mistakes. Some mistakes, if you memorize those mistakes, ibadallah, it takes away your salah. You say, why is my house in turmoil? If you make certain mistakes in Surah Al-Fatiha, you didn't make salah. If you didn't make salah, you don't get the reward of the salah. And part of the reward of salah is what? Tanha anil fahsha wal munkar. It's the salat that stops fahsha. Somebody being hateful and being indecent. Salah stops that. But if you make certain mistakes in Surah Al-Fatiha, and some people do make these mistakes, then your salat is null and void. Barakallahu feekum. Let's get busy. Let's turn that belief that we believe in the Quran and the Sunnah, let's make it real. Let's make it real. Let's be real.